SHTF, let's say, without rule of law, let's say possibly grid down, stuff like that. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Probably not. I wouldn't say it's highly unlikely, but it is, it's definitely a possibility. So let's talk about the scenario of you're bugging in, you've got your homestead or you've got your house and you are not going to leave. You're staying there, you're sticking it out. Let's say you got a farm or something. You're not leaving. You're not leaving. Let's go with that. So you're on your property and you see a couple of people walking up. What do you do? What are you going to do in that scenario? Are you going to shoot first and ask questions later? Or are you going to assess the situation and try to talk with them? Let's say before they get too close. So you're not going to want to let them get too close. If you can see them long before they can see your house or your, whatever you're living in, I would say, this is just me. I'm not going to shoot first and ask questions later. What I would do is I would assess the situation, see what's going on, try to get a better look and see who these people are. Because if it's let's say it is a mother and a young child, but you can't tell because, I don't know, your optics are, crappy, or, you don't have optics and you just say, screw it, I'm not going to let these people anywhere near my house. So you shoot first and then you ask questions later. Well, you go up to them, come to find out it's a mother and child. What are you going to do? You're going to have to live with yourself. You're going to have to live with the fact that you just killed someone that may or may not have posed as a threat. Now, there are going to be certain situations where you're going to want to shoot, but there's also going to be that, should I shoot or should I attempt to go up to these people in a defensive manner and find out what they're doing? You got to see if they're a threat or not. Because not everybody in an SHTS situation, grid down or without rule of law, not everyone is going to be a bad guy. You may want to think to yourself, everyone's a bad guy, I'm going to protect my house at all costs. But the truth is, not everyone's a bad guy. Not everyone has evil intentions. You gotta remember that. And if you do decide to shoot first and ask questions later, you're going to have to live with the consequences. You're going to have to live with the fact that you just killed someone that very well could have not posed any threat whatsoever. They may have not even known that your property was there, or they may have been, coming up for help, which you could easily just turn them away if that's what you want to do. But guys, there's always going to be the possibility of that person's a threat. That's why you go up to them in a defensive manner and figure out what their intentions are before they get too close to your house. You don't want to be making enemies in that kind of situation. Let's say you do kill them, you shoot them. Let's say they have a group and their group finds out and they weren't going to do anything to you necessarily, but then they find out that you killed part of them, they killed part of their group, and they find that out somehow. Now now you just made enemies where you wouldn't have before. So what I'm saying is, in that kind of situation, make sure you figure out who's who, what they want, who they are, what their intentions are. Don't shoot first and ask questions later unless you can clearly see that they are posing a threat to you. But if they're not posing a threat to you, it is not a good idea to shoot first, ask questions later. It's a good idea to go up to them defensively and then figure out what is going on.